Hello, sorry, in the middle of a gang war. This is Heroes and Hops, the show where we discuss comics, beer, and everything in between. I'm your host, Jason. You thought it'd be another 10 months before we had another episode. Well, we're back. So we're at Grasslands Brewing Company in Tallahassee, Florida, to talk to the vice president and take a look at their facility and what they've got going on. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Here with Scott Hall, the Vice President of Grasslands Brewing Company. Scott, thanks for having us today.
Yeah, thanks for coming
really appreciate it. First, what's your role with Grasslands?
My job as Vice President of Grasslands, right now I'm heading up the tap room, which is sort of our bread and butter until we actually get online and brewing, which should be in about 2 months or so. But we go ahead and we've opened up and we're serving all Florida beer at the tap room, and I'm kind of spearheading that endeavor.
What was the inspiration and motivation behind opening Grasslands?
Wow, that goes back a long way. Gabe Grass, the founder, started about 4 years ago. I came on about 2. And just the idea is just to make great beer for the local community. I mean, that's the source of everything. It goes from there, but that's where it starts.
And you had mentioned in your opening that you're doing the tap room right now.
Right.
What was the idea behind doing it that way?
When you make beer and sell it, you have to get a permit from the federal government, and that permit can take a long time. It can range. About a year and a half ago, it was taking up to 200 days. Now it's down to about 90. It can take longer. Last year, everybody had to wait an extra month because the federal government shut down. So you're looking at 90 to 120 days to get that permit, and your choices are basically sit empty and wait, which a lot of breweries opt to do. Because they want to open with their product right on. Or you can just go ahead and open and just serve beer from other breweries, which is what we chose to do. They're both valid approaches to it, but we would just rather get open and get certain beer, especially good local beer, and not be sort of held ransom waiting to get our license in the mail.
And you said you had Florida beers on tap. What are some of the Florida breweries you got right now?
We've been carrying, well, right now, we virtually always have a Cigar City beer out of Tampa. We usually have Green Room and Intuition out of Jacksonville, and almost always Swamp out of Gainesville. We feature J-Dubs out of Sarasota a whole lot. I hesitate to name these off, but I know I'm going to forget a few. Green Bench out of St. Pete. These are guys we're all really, really high on right now.
What are we drinking right now?
You're drinking Intuition I-10, and I'm drinking the Green Room Hollow Beach Pale. So you've got an IPA, I've got just a touch lighter pale ale. They're both kind of good sort of Sunday afternoon beers.
Yeah, they definitely are. I've had this Intuition before out of Jacksonville. This is a great IPA, so if you can find it, check it out. So when you eventually start brewing, is it going to be a particular style you'll focus on, or you'll kind of touch on?
We'll run the gamut on things. We'll have 4 or 5 core styles. It'll be like an amber ale, a rice saison, an IPA. We'll bring through a imperial red that's amazing. So we have a lot of options that you'll see year round. And then we'll also have seasonals and one-offs that we just kind of do in smaller batches, depending on either the availability of a fruit at this time of year, or a honey, or whatever, or just kind of whatever mood strikes us.
So when did y'all first open up?
We opened here in the brew house on February 28th.
Okay.
So it's only been a few short weeks right now. It seems like a lot longer, but our official opening is February 28th, and kind of a madcap Saturday that saw us scrambling to keep up. But it's been a fun ride so far.
Well, how has the crowds been since?
The crowds have been great. They've been really surprising in the sense I've been in the beverage industry in Tallahassee for a long time, and I've seen a lot of different crowds. This crowd is really fun. They like to come here and play board games and just sort of chill out and relax. And it struck me that attitude was so predominant in our customers.
Finally, any events y'all have coming up that you want people to know about?
Our next big one is going to be First Friday, which will be First Friday in April. We've got a pretty big parking lot. We'll close off the whole lot. We'll have, I think, 2 food trucks coming in. We'll have a tap system set up outside as well as inside. So, and the weather is looking to be beautiful. It should be a really fun day.
Scott has agreed to give us a tour of the brewery so we can kind of see what the inspiration behind the design of the tasting room and what the setup in the back is going to look like. So let's go ahead and get this started.
The building itself was built in the 50s. It was an electrical supply warehouse, which if you can pan up, you can kind of see all these pipes and crazy things going on. We pulled all that gross insulation, everything out, found the ceiling, thought it was gorgeous, and kind of designed it around that. So we have a lot of, obviously we have the original ceiling and piping. We sort of built metal and wood to kind of accent it a little bit, and really sort of happy with the way it turned out. It's got that, I don't know, sort of like a mid-century cross with steampunk feel to it. What you'll see on the left is our walk-in cooler. We're doing that in 2 stages. The second stage, or first stage, depending on which way you come in, stays about 60 or 65. Lets us stage kegs and temperature control some barrel aging. Go on in. So that's this side. This is the side that shows will stay about 60, 65. And then the next side is the serving area. And it stays about 30, 35 degrees, give or take. So this is where all of our draft lines come out. This is where the beer you drink in the tap room that comes on this side. The lines run down to the floor, come back up under the bar, and it gives you cold beer.
Excellent. We all like cold beer.
Everybody likes cold beer. So the big room over this way is where all the equipment's going to go. It's being manufactured in San Diego right now and be on its way very soon. The roof height for the whole building was 14 feet, which is what we have in every other area we've been in. Cut the roof off in here, put it up to 25 so we can fit not only our additional equipment, but enough to grow by about 5 times. We're coming in with a 15-barrel brew house, which is what you think of as 30 kegs, which is what we can boil at one time, then we can ferment up to 60 kegs at a time. That's 15 barrels. This height lets us go up to about 90, which will then let us make about 360 kegs at one time once we put it in the fermenters. So we got a lot of room to grow in here. This is our pilot system. This is what we'll do all of our experimental batches, one-off brews on. This is a 2.5-barrel system, so this will make about 5 kegs at a time. So this will let us experiment and not have to do a giant batch and just quite turn out. Or else we'll just make special beers for the tap room only to have everybody who comes in here just get something unique that doesn't get shipped out to other bars and restaurants. The mural that's going up, and when you're looking at it, bear in mind it's in a very early draft stage. It just kind of takes the whole process of the brewing, which you can see it a little bit. You start cracking the grain, you steep it into water. It's called a mash. It's basically making tea. You boil it, and everything on the right down here are fermentation vessels, where you add yeast. It sits in there anywhere between 2 and 6 weeks, and then you can keg it up and start drinking it.
All right, thanks for the awesome tour.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
It looks like everything's shaping up nicely.
It does not look like that, but
Well,
it is in fact shaping up nicely.
I'm looking forward to seeing all the equipment in so we can try some great Grasslands beer.
Cheers to that, my friend.
Cheers. Thank you. Aside from also running a great brewery and bar, Scott is also an avid comic book reader. So since this is beer and comics, we'll talk some comics as well. So Scott, is there any particular series you're reading right now or recently read that's a really good one that should check out?
Obviously to go off some of the main paths of Batman Adventures or stuff that a lot of people read, there's a Magneto series out right now. Have you read it all?
I've read some of it.
It's cool because, and it's getting harder as time goes on. They explain it away in comics or whatever, but Magneto's origins come from the Holocaust, or he's in there and he's identifying, him being persecuted and being wiped out, and that's his drive. And so it's kind of gone back and it's sort of revisiting that, where that's his motivation and that's what's brought him to where it is. It's kind of dark, and he's definitely, he's just like a straight up killer in the comic, and so it's really a gray area that it's a little more complex than a lot of things I'm reading right now. I'm really liking it.
Yes, I have read the first arc or two of Magneto, and I met the writer Cullen Bunn.
Oh, cool.
Last summer he writes another series I like, and he's a really super nice, humble guy. So Magneto is a good suggestion.
Yeah, it's a good read.
I recently finished a digital series called The Private Eye by Brian K. Vaughan and Macros Martin. It's available on panelsyndicate.com. It's a digital-only comic. The cool thing about it is you name your price for each issue you download. There's only 10 issues out. They completed it last week, and it looks like that's it for this kind of storyline universe, but it takes place in the future where the internet crashed and the cloud burst, so everybody's identity is public and nobody has a secret. So
that's not the future.
So basically everybody is now wears crazy masks, and it focuses on a paparazzi. It's kind of like a private eye that digs up secrets, but there's a bigger, kind of agenda out there. So anyway, it's a cool, real colorful, fun noir private eye piece. So check that out. Like I said, you can name your price. And I also did a write-up on our blog, heroesandhops.blogspot.com, about the series. So check that out as well. We appreciate it, Scott, for giving us the info on Grasslands.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys came through.
If you're in the Tallahassee area, check out Grasslands off of Gain Street. Come and have a good Florida beer, and then in a few months, when they're producing their own product, check that out as well. All right, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Heroes and Hops. We hope you kind of got a glimpse of what a bar and brewery is like, kind of what issues they have to deal with, and the target audience and all that stuff that breweries have to have in mind. We'll be back next month with another special guest, drinking beer, talking comics. Check out the blog, heroesandhops.blogspot.com. Like us on YouTube, leave comments, let us know what we can do better, and we'll see you next month.